you got wabi sabi, Mr. Kerr? And I'm like, I don't. Is that a new 6'7"? Like, what do you mean? They're like, no, it's from King of the Hill.
You've got the exterior pain, which is the muscular, and it hurts while you're working out and you're sore for a couple days. The interior part
Is
of it
your body dysmorphia.
is body dysmorphia. You look in the mirror, like after you got a sick pump, you're like, okay, I'm looking a little bit bigger, looking a bit more full. The next morning you wake up, you're like, I look fat, I look terrible.
I started dating a little bit again, and they're just like, yeah, I just want someone to open the door for me. Like, the bare minimum is like breathe and open doors.
Yeah, and for me, that's crazy that that's the bare
Right.
minimum.
It's to me, it's just like, no, that's just what you do. Like
that's just common courtesy.
Yeah, I'm not trying to pick you up necessarily.
But, you know, on the flip side, here's
you
another.
can use it to manipulate them. All right. We throwing up our sets? Is that what this is?
Yeah. We
up?
are macho.
It's young Macho from the H-Town. Go Astros.
Yeah. Whoa. Easy there.
Hey, we're closer to Houston than we are to wherever the Rangers play.
Arlington?
Are they even in Texas?
Yeah, whoa. They are the Texas Rangers.
Which also, like, okay, I don't really understand what a Texas Ranger is. Is it just like a sheriff? Like, is
No.
it state patrol? Is it a certain branch of paramilitary of the Texas
It's like
militia?
It's like if Texas were to be their own government, like their own country. That's like their highest level.
Which it is. I don't know why you're saying if it was.
Well, yeah, true. That's their highest level of enforcement.
Okay.
So, like, they can do anything they want.
But it's not the National Guard.
No.
They can do anything they want?
They can basically do anything they want.
Anything?
Anything. Let me just go ahead and pop these off.
Would you classify them as manly men?
I would say so. I mean, that's one of those kind of jobs that you're kind of like, they them boys.
What do they do? I feel like the only context I have is like...
They're like the ultimate detectives in the state of Texas, too.
Oh, okay.
So, like, mass murders and different stuff like that, when they call them the Texas Rangers.
Oh, okay.
Like the whole JFK thing. That
was a Texas Ranger thing?
It probably was. I don't know. I didn't look too much into it, but I mean, that's the kind of stuff they would be in on.
And with that, welcome to the Not So Macho podcast.
Back again.
What's poppin'?
Oh, it's a lot's popping.
What's going on in your life?
Let's see. New piece of gym equipment that I had Mike put together somewhat.
I tried, but you came up short with a screw. What did you say?
Two screws missing out of the whole thing.
And you spent
Mike
30 minutes
lost
blaming.
one of
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say you're about to. I did not lose one.
So
you handed
now,
me the box, and then I started organizing it everywhere.
I handed you the box with the screws. Did I take any out?
Yes.
No. I handed you the entire packet.
It's either you or the manufacturers who's the problem, and
so now I'm considering that you stole the second screw too. Bolt.
What would I be doing with it?
I guess they're bolts, not screws, technically.
Technically, I don't know.
But you
what
screw
a
bolt.
Carpenter.
But you screw a bolt.
You screw a bolt. It's kind of like you bake cookies, but you cook bacon.
Exactly. You shipments are on land and cargoes on sea.
You, what is it? You park on a freeway? No. You're free on a parkway? No, wait, what is it? Parking lot? No. Garage? I don't know.
This
There's
is
some
his
other
daily mind, y'all, every day.
My mind is an enigma. This is why I'm single as well.
Yeah.
The ladies can't understand it.
It's too complex.
Yeah. I'm just
men are too complex,
quirky little
y'all.
guy.
Y'all think men are easy? Nope.
Not at all.
It's like that meme where they go and they're like, he's probably thinking about other women. And then it's like me and you were like, chest day really hurt yesterday, but my pecs are going to be huge.
Can't wait to look in the mirror.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to show anyone what this looks like. Yeah. Maybe I'll take a picture.
I'm going to hate the way I look.
But the pain inside reminds me I'm growing.
Exactly. Pain is both interior and exterior.
Ooh, elaborate. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, let's say we're working out, you know. You've got the exterior pain, which is the muscular, and it hurts while you're working out and you're sore for a couple days. The interior part
is
of
your
it
body dysmorphia.
Body dysmorphia. You look in the mirror, like, after you got a sick pump, you're like, okay, I'm looking a little bit bigger, looking a bit more full. The next morning you wake up, you're like, I look fat, I look terrible. And then you've got this whole mental thing. I don't know if you watched the video I sent you earlier, but it was like one of my favorite bodybuilders, Chris Bumstead. He was like, nobody's looking. Like when you go to a gym and you feel like everybody's watching you, you're new to the gym, you just feel awkward, like everybody's thinking crappy things about you.
Right.
And he's like, nobody's looking
Nobody's
at you
thinking about you because they're all thinking about themselves.
They're either one, thinking about themselves, two, they don't care, three, if they're me, things go a little fuzzy sometimes. And four,
that's just how I am. It's not like the gym or anything. It's not because I lifted a huge set.
Yeah. And four, it's that all those people all started at somewhere at the same place you were, whether it was like 2 years ago or 15 years ago. That's why I say like gym people are some of the coolest people to become friends with, like the ones that are really serious about it. Not TikTokers. Those guys are terrible.
Okay. All right. I don't know why the shade's just coming for me. Also,
Here you go with the shade.
Yeah, literally, I'm an Instagram influencer now. Okay, we're about to hit 8,000 followers on Instagram.
But how many on TikTok?
280,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
200?
But that doesn't matter.
So you haven't even hit 500,000 yet?
Okay. What is this judgment coming? Where is this coming from?
This is man to man.
Man to man. Oh, you're just being honest. You're letting me be vulnerable for a second.
Yeah.
Reminding me of
breaking
my
you down.
Yeah. Because I'm not breaking down enough on.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we're gonna kind of break down our thoughts on what a man is.
What a man is.
Like what a man.
Are you? Oh. What is it? A mighty good man?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Finish
or
the
what
lyric.
A burger.
What a burger. That's next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a man. What a man is. Before we get into that, though,
okay.
I do have an indomitable human spirit. I'm just going to keep these glasses on for the bit, though.
Heck yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's only fitting. Like, you're almost giving off like a Matrix vibe. Like,
I am the one.
You are the one.
I'm a metaphor.
Overrated movie.
I'm red-pilled. Okay, so how much do you know about Kai Cenat? Have you ever heard of him?
I have heard of him. He's a YouTuber, correct?
Oh, wow. No, you have not.
I've seen him on YouTube, but
he's a Twitch streamer.
Right?
One of the biggest in the world.
I see his clips on YouTube.
Right. So, like, when you talk about Twitch, you got, like, 2 or 3 guys that come to mind. You got Kai Cenat, Queso, like, iShowSpeed, and I didn't realize I'm just saying names at this point.
I know who iShowSpeed is.
Okay, yeah. He's also really cool. That's another indomitable human spirit. But this clip came up recently with Kai Cenat, and he's known. I just turned on my phone, my flashlight. He's known for just like lighthearted streams. Like he brings a lot of celebrities on, rappers, performers.
I've seen him on some Mr. Beast videos.
Yeah, he'll be on Mr. Beast, and he's just like the entertainer. He's like the guy for entertaining. But he like took a break for a little bit. And now he says that he wants to focus on fashion and something else, and that's the other thing we're gonna
get into
explore today, if it shows up.
Spontaneity. Oftentimes, when I don't know what a word is pronounced, I get to look at how it's pronounced and what it even means.
Spontaneity.
Spontaneity. The condition of being spontaneous. Spontaneity.
Spontaneity.
Spontaneity. Spontaneity. And spontaneity of life. Hardly such questions set up a false what does that mean?
Okay, so like really simple.
It's very simple
video. He started like since he's come back from like his break streaming, multi-millionaire guy.
Yeah.
He's posting like these videos of him trying to pronounce words and reading 20 minutes a day. And I'm just like, what like a shift, you know?
That's a massive shift.
Yeah, it's like super cool to see, and like as an English teacher, I'm like, oh yeah, more of that. Let's go.
Well, and it's also one of those things like, one of the phrases I've heard all my life, and it's always frustrated me to some degree. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. Is that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, which is so not true. Like you look at somebody like him, and he's obviously extremely successful, makes a ton of money.
He has no reason to like better himself this way.
Yeah,
like he's
exactly,
good,
but he is, and he's challenging himself. And I guess on the flip side of it, for me, is that like some of those words, like you and I, we could read those, and we're like, okay, we know what those words mean, we know how to pronounce them.
Right.
But he's been so engulfed in the social media world since he was at such a young age. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think like 17 or 18
is
when he started.
But and so some of that stuff kind of slips through the cracks of, I wouldn't say basic school knowledge, but I kind of learned those words when I was in school.
Yeah,
and like, if I didn't, I knew what they meant.
Well, yeah, and just like returning to the point is like he had no reason to like grow himself, and I feel like that is like when we talked about having this specific episode of podcast. I'm like, one thing I want to talk about is like what makes a man is like the push to be more and do more for people around you.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's like really exemplified in a positive manner through what Kai Cenat's kind of journey is right now.
That's interesting. I hadn't seen that, and like I applaud him for it. Honestly, that's a tough thing, and not only is it a tough thing to do with the kind of his journey through life and how he's gotten to where he is in his business and all that, but to post that publicly and show that he's struggling with these. One, it takes a lot of courage to do as a guy, and because you can get a lot of hate for it. People pick on you, whatever. I mean, obviously not him. I mean, he can just turn around and say, "Hey, I've got 37 million in my
smash you with
checking
my wallet
account."
real quick. Yeah.
But it's also showing like, hey, there's always room for improvement. There's always ways to better myself, and this is where I've struggled or I've lacked. And so that's kind of a cool way to. I really like that, honestly.
That's the indomitable human spirit, the indomitable manly
that
spirit. That
makes
right
my
there.
like human spirit kind of get a little fiery, you know, like.
It's like, what can I do to like grow and like be more of myself?
Yeah, exactly. So I really like that. That's really cool. That makes like I said, and it's nice to see people post that stuff, even if it's unintentional for somewhat of what they're doing, is to it inspires a lot of kids that probably watch him too.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing is like, and I feel like for manliness to be a thing is like you're setting an impression onto someone else. Like it's not just like a physical prowess, and I'm sure we'll get like more into this. Like I'm big, I'm burly, I'm hairy. It's like how am I pushing? How am I influencing the people to come after me?
Yeah, exactly.
And you can think about it in like tribalistic terms of like if I'm the chief, how am I raising up the next generation? But speaking of which, when you think of a real man, who comes to mind?
That's kind of a two-parter question for me, and I'll explain it a little bit. Is because I want to kind of explain that there's a wealth of young men across the world, I would say, that look at some of these social media men, and you see like the David Goggins and some of these other characters portrayed. Like one of the person I would look at, and granted I grew up this way, is John Wayne. He's like the manly man, like the Western cowboy, widely famous. And sometimes you got to look at those and you're like, that's a step too far.
It's almost like a hyperbole and exaggeration of like all the qualities.
Like David Goggins, like he's really good.
Do you think David Goggins is like sincere? I've always kind of like, I know he's Navy
brutally
SEAL.
honest.
Yeah, but I've heard like I wake up at 4 a.m. every morning, go for a 10-mile run, and like all of this is doable. But it's also like, how much is he just kind of peddling and selling books and stuff?
Honestly, he's one of those guys I can kind of look at him and be like, he seems crazy enough.
Yeah,
that he would do it. And and some of it he may push out there a little bit. I can't answer too harsh on it because I don't know the guy, nor have I read any of his books. But I do know some friends, and they're like, it's good for short clips that you see on YouTube that motivates you, like go to the gym, get you pumped up. but some of the ways that you live life, you can't live that way, because then you cut off family, you cut off friends. You're only focused on, you're on a very one track mind, and the way I see that one track is there's no multiple cars in the race. It is let's say a 10-foot wide racetrack, just a small circle, and you're just going in it by yourself. No fans, no pit crew, no
right.
nothing.
It's just you.
It's just you.
It's just you and your own insecurities, your own desire to grow, like all that
and
smushed together.
And in that, you're ignoring the outside world.
Yeah.
And so, kind of going back, when I think of a real man who comes to mind, I want to say this. I think the best quote I've ever heard, and I will actually put this out there, is by Matthew McConaughey. He was getting accepted speech for and I really like Matthew McConaughey. Might be up there as one of the guys that I view as like a real man. Mm-hmm. I guess it was an Oscar speech or something, and he was telling this story about how he had this guy ask him who his hero was, and he said, "Oh, I don't know how to think about it." Came back to the guy. He said, "It's me in 5 years."
Okay.
Or 10 years.
Yeah.
And then the guy came back to him in 5 or 10 years, and he said, "Are you your hero yet?" He said, "No, not even close." He said, "My hero is always 5 to 10 years ahead of me." He said, "It's me in 5 to 10 years. It keeps you striving for something. You're not necessarily goal-oriented, but you're bettering yourself."
Yeah, it's like constant renewal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was one of those things. But Matthew McConaughey, he's a family man. He's deep in his roots and traditions. And, he's one of those guys that when he believes in something, he's in it wholeheartedly. Mm-hmm. Like I said, there's just a lot to him that I like and that I can agree with.
Yeah.
What about you? When you think of a real man, like, not necessarily like
not like a WWE.
John Cena, like, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like, he is a real man, but it's also like when we think about it, like what makes a real man, it's not just physical aspects of a person, but I mean that is there. Like with Matthew McConaughey, you have, like, I always think about, I know it's a meme, mm-hmm. where like he's crying in Interstellar about like his life and his daughter growing mm-hmm. up without him, and it's just like that vulnerability that he's portraying mm-hmm. and showcasing as a father figure. I'm like that is something that is like tunes into me, and I'm like, oh man, that's like really cool. That's really neat.
Yeah.
I
like that.
Manly men, though.
Yeah, I mean, some people, if you think of manly men, you're thinking of like the larger than life. Like I said, John Wayne is one of them.
I never watched any John Wayne.
Oh man, we gotta change that. He was the larger than life cowboy. I would know a lot of people that would think like maybe people who not necessarily in the Western world, I guess I would say, but they're like, who's like, if you were to think of a cowboy, it'd be like John Wayne, mm-hmm. or is that your phone? Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck?
That's my buddy Connor. I'll call him back later.
My sister went to a fundraiser with him. Like, he was like the speaker.
Really?
Apparently, it was kind of lackluster. Maybe it's just like because he's, whatever, 80, 90,
yeah,
whatever
it is
up
now. Age now.
It's kind of like you ask a 90-year-old to speak at an event is like, but you don't know what you're going to get. Like, they might have been great at one point.
But he was one of those guys, too, that was very much like, he was like known as like a mustache guy. Like, he had the killer mustache. My dad, oddly enough, looked like him.
Yeah. Have you ever just rocked the mustache?
Oh yeah, love it. Love to do it. I do it normally like once a year, and I feel like I rock it pretty good. I mean, you can probably go on my TikTok. Remember, there's a video of me working out with a little stash going on.
Little stash? Yeah, I said you look like a little fire chief.
Hey, I can carry you out of a burning building anytime.
Hey, that's a manly job right there. Or, womanly. We got to shout out our female firefighters, too.
I guess you can't call them firemen. It's just firefighters.
Yeah, that's funny because, like, the next topic, we're like, what are the types of man?
Types of man.
Like, gentleman, manly man, beta male, alpha male, and then as a joke, I said, postman,
yeah,
fisherman.
Postman, and I was like, I mean, true. It's got the word man in there.
Yeah, yeah. Technically, you're gonna say I'm wrong, you know?
Yeah. Prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong. Fishermen or
I
men.
just realized we have a screen right here, and I keep looking
Yeah, I
at that
look
like
at
I'm
the
talking to
screen
y'all
instead of-
instead of talking to the camera.
Yeah, I feel like I should open up the screen viewer, but you know we got the document over there. We got lights over there, so we're just gonna be bouncing.
We've got lots of lights that took
Look
us.
into my eyes.
I want to say us, but I sat here a lot of the time and watched Mike figure out lighting for an hour.
It took a whole hour, and then like when we
And
finished,
then 30 minutes on just on the microphone situation.
but then we sat down to actually like listen to it and listen back, and I'm like, why do I hear an echo? And like we checked the electronics, and like nothing is like electronically wrong. And then we like sat back and we're like, what is that? And it's like the giant metal thing behind us
that we just hung up and it's
causing
just
an echo.
Loose tin.
Yes, it is.
That's a brain fart on us.
Yeah, I was like, you know what would be cool is if we put up a little backdrop behind us. And he was like, yeah.
I mean,
we
we could always get like soundboards and tuck up underneath there or
I
something.
do have some soundboards, but I don't know.
Yeah,
With,
they're
like,
in your
foam.
gaming area, and
Yeah.
we don't want to mess that up.
I feel like that would look pretty cool though. I feel like we might do that.
Get a whole bunch of foam
Yeah.
soundboards.
Yeah. Going back to the topic.
Trailing off again.
Yeah. Man types. What's your type of man?
Like, what man
Tall.
is best for you? Question a little
So
bit.
we really like started off with like gentlemen. I feel like when you talk about kind of the role of men in the society, people like associate like a traditional gentlemanly type. You know?
Yeah, and that's a hard topic. I don't want to say for me to talk about, because I could talk about it for a long time. But you kind of go into what is a gentleman in the traditional sense of like chivalry, and some people just assume it with just the way they dress. They think of the suits and the tuxes and stuff, but I think it's so much more than that. It's chivalry is a lot of it, and how you carry yourself.
Yeah.
It's kind of the quiet control the room disposition.
Yeah, I did like a little bit of a dive last night on like stoicism, and I've been like talking it up, and like being like, we should do an episode on stoicism because you know content.
Content.
No other reason because it's just like such an attached thing to when you're talking about manliness on a podcast is like to talk about stoicism, and like the guys who I was listening to were always like, you know, like the true, you know, Marcus Aurelius type guys were talking about being a man, being a stoic man specifically is all about controlling your emotions, not like suppressing them, but being able to command the things around you.
Yeah, and I would say that's a gentleman thing. Like when I think of a gentleman in my brain, I automatically, granted it's just because I'm a huge fan, is James Bond. Like you think of the way.
Which one though? Just in general, the concept
general
of James
the
Bond.
concept, but I mean, if I had to pick a favorite one, it would be Pierce Brosnan.
Okay, that's like the '90s one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was my favorite one. But still, it's the way he carries himself. He's very smooth, but firm in the way. I sound like I got a crush on him.
That's okay.
But you know what I'm saying? Like he's very cool, level-headed. He doesn't suppress his emotions. He just controls it and controls all situations. But you know, some people look at it and they're like, "Oh, he was a man-ho." Like, and I mean, yes, he had a lot of ladies, but the reason he did is they were drawn to him by the way he carried himself.
Yeah,
and he was very
your ability to manage under pressure.
Yeah, and you know, he was very much like he opens the door for him. He buys him meals. He, you know, it's very like old school.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in today's standards, because I've had people caught off guard that I've held the door open for them.
It's so bizarre, like
because I think we talked about this the other day. It's very much one of those things like you always hold the door open for a lady. At least I was taught that as a kid. Like that is, and really just the ladies and the elderly. But I do it for everybody. I try to at least.
Right. I mean, why not? Just like the nice thing that you can do, you know.
And I've seen people like they've obviously see people walking towards them towards the same door, and they just let the door
Dude,
shut.
it's so crazy. But like speaking on that specifically, like you know, I started dating a little bit again, but I've talked to some of you know these women, and they're just like, yeah, I just want someone to open the door for me. Like the bare minimum is like breathe and open doors.
Yeah, and for me, that's crazy that that's the bare
Right.
minimum.
It's to me it's just like no, that's just what you do. Like what
Like,
do you-
that's just common courtesy.
yeah. Like you're able to be like, oh, that would be. It's nice when someone holds the door open. I'm not trying to pick you up necessarily.
But, you know,
with
on the
that.
flip side, here's
You
another.
can use it to manipulate them. But we'll get into that in another episode.
Yeah, manipulating women, next episode. No, maybe. But, you know, it's kind of one of those things. But on the flip side is you have, I hate saying this, the newer generation where they don't do the simple things, but then they go extremely over the top with, like, let's say the birthday presents or just the birthday parties or just this, that, and the other. And so, like,
It's like
small
status symbols.
yeah,
almost.
exactly.
Yeah.
So the small stuff they don't do, like opening the door, buying them just like, not a bouquet of flowers, but like, hey, I was walking by the store, saw a flower, got it for you.
Yeah.
Just one, like, small stuff. And then, you know, the stuff that gets posted on Facebook or social media. Oh, I bought you a $2,000 purse, you know, for us dating for 6 months or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, and then you have the expectation of something being returned for that. Like I fulfilled
Yeah.
this role of being a man. What do I get in exchange for that? And I think part of manliness could be some, like the expectation that you don't get anything in return. You just do it because it's the right thing or it's the most helpful thing to the person or to the people around you. Not even necessarily like a woman or like your spouse or whatever. It's like I'm doing. I think it's very utilitarian. It's very Batman. It's like I'm doing the most good, or like Superman. It's like I'm doing the most good for the most people that I can.
Yeah, so I guess, so here's a question. Do you feel like a gentleman is being, the term of gentleman and what a male is being suppressed, and people, I don't want to say women, but people in general are looking for either,
Kind of like a toxic masculinity.
yeah, they're either
type
looking for manly
topic.
man, like over the top, or they're looking for like a submissive man, like, you know,
Dude,
like
yeah. I don't know. I think there's like a spectrum of expectations, not to like cop out the answer, but then again, like I'll download the dating apps and stuff, and it's like I'm on Hinge, and it's like I'm looking for my cowboy type. I'm looking for like a real manly man, and they're like,
and that's another thing. Like, I've heard, I mean, I remember being younger years ago, and somebody was like, "You have too high expectations. You're too picky." And blah blah. I'm like, if you know what you want and you know what you're attracted to, go for it.
yeah,
Like, there's no reason for any person in this world to settle for less than what they want. I mean, and you know, sometimes some people view as a settling with somebody, like they may be like one characteristic or one trait, or they may not want to live somewhere. But I think we kind of talked about this last episode. Sacrifice. No, we didn't. I was talking about that with somebody else. Sacrifice
On
is
my
a
other
huge part of
podcast.
any relationship, whether it's in personal friendships, your girlfriend, your wife. I'm not saying sacrifice your whole life, but you do have to sacrifice. It's more compromise.
yeah.
I guess sacrifice is a really strong word, but you do need, like, some things aren't just going to happen that way. But I will say, don't settle. I don't want to say settle for less than what you're worth, because I don't want people to just go out there and be like, I'm worth a Bugatti, like, blah blah, you know, like in that amount if you're thinking money, car wise. But you know, be realistic and don't settle. Or two things I would say need to go hand in hand.
For just like if you're talking to guys,
Like, if
looking
I would
for
say if
advice?
you're dating, if it's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
like a guy's advice, and a girl's.
Okay,
I mean, I know we do have a couple female listeners.
shout out, double X chromosomes. You know, you're doing great out there.
But you know, my mom has always said when I was younger, she was like, when you're dating, you don't settle. I did tell you this the other day. You don't settle for like a Ford Pinto or something. You strive to find your Lamborghini or your Ferrari.
It's probably problematic or something that we're comparing
women to cars. But, and like...
She's got great mileage, I'm gonna...
She's got a few miles on her, but,
No. Hey, I'm not anything in particular. I got rust under my hood,
But, I mean, with friendships, I guess you could say that, too, is, you find friends who also better you. Like, I would say that since you and I became friends, I guess it was about a year ago this time last year, we started, kind of getting to know each other, and I would say I would say that we work well as friends because I feel like we're always pushing each other.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of at the point in my life where I don't want to say if you don't offer something, because that's kind of rude to say, but like we push each other, we make each other better, we have consistent conversation. We work well together.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to agree on everything, which no human does. Whether they say that or not, it's completely false.
Right, and that's what makes like relationships a positive thing, or else you're just like in an echo chamber of
exactly. Yeah,
or you're in a cult,
chamber, right?
Yeah, right.
But it's true. Like I would say that's like as men.
As men. Sorry, I didn't say that. Right.
We work well together because despite any differences we have, but we constantly push each other, and we know each other's boundaries. We pick on each other a lot about our one person's uneven calves. But it's all in good fun, and we have a lot of fun. And if you don't know about which person I was referring to,
it's not uneven calves. It's wappy soppy. All right.
What?
You don't know what wappy soppy is?
No.
Oh, hold on.
Y'all, I'm just gonna let y'all know. Mike is older than me.
Intermediate.
By a lot.
Okay.
I mean, by a mile.
What?
But I am very much an old man in the sense that, like, all these new terms, like the kids are saying, like, I don't get it. I don't know what that means.
I'm going to educate you, all right?
This one's pretty.
Not according to the book. If you go by the checklist, this one's perfect.
But I like how mine's a little off-center. It's got wabi-sabi.
You can't win an argument by making up words.
Wabi-sabi is an Eastern tradition, Dad. It's celebrating the beauty in what's flawed. Like the crack in the Liberty Bell or the mole on Cindy Crawford's face.
The Liberty Bell is great, but come on, if it was in a contest with a bunch of bells without cracks, it would lose.
But sometimes it's the small imperfections that make you love something even more. So what if this rose is a little too short, a little too wide? It's got more personality than those other ones.
That's the wisdom from King of the Hill.
I do. I really enjoy that. Except the whole time I was a little pissed off because you just literally shushed me.
Yeah, no.
We're on a podcast. We're supposed to talk.
No, quiet.
Y'all are going to see us box on live podcast here in a little bit.
Yeah, that's going to be on the Patreon. I'm so sorry. That was like the thing like a month ago is kids were saying, "You got wabi-sabi, Mr. Kerr?" And I'm like, is that a new 6-7? Like, what do you mean? They're like, no, it's from King of the Hill. And mind you, King of the Hill is from like 95. I'm like, how do you guys know about this thing?
That's true. Like, out of all the things they don't know about.
Yeah.
And they know about King of the Hill?
Yeah. Speaking of a show like that teaches kind of a interesting dynamic on like manliness, because like traditionally, Hank is a man, but also he's constantly being challenged with, his traditional sense of things.
Yeah.
And like the friendship aspect of it too. It's just like,
yeah, he's got one friend that's a tongue twister constantly.
Which one?
Dale
Gribble?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man,
I haven't watched that show in a long time. I need to watch it again.
It's so good. I tried watching the new season though.
Not as good.
It's it's nice nostalgia bait, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not what it is. You know?
He's kind of like a manly man in the, I keep saying traditional sense, but in the simple sense. Like he's a simple man.
Yeah.
He's a simple kind of man. But, sorry, ADD kicking in. But, you know, like he's very much like, I've got my house.
I got my
propane,
grill.
I got my propane. I've got my buddies that we drink beer out by the road with.
Yeah.
Like, and that's all I need.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And there's like an art and a beauty to that kind of life,
well,
you know?
I've always talked with someone. I have several friends that live in Houston, and they love the city. And they're like, we could never live out in the country. We could never live in a place that doesn't have an HEB down the road, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, those are nice to have when you need them, but they aren't really needs. You know, like I would say the simple way of life is exactly what it is. It's simple. You don't have to have extravagant all the time. You don't have to have the busy buzz, the constant need to do something.
Or be a certain version of yourself.
That's like growing up in the country. People are like, what did you do? There's nothing to do. I'm like,
there's so many things
every
to do.
Saturday night, me and my buddies in high school, I mean, for 3 years straight, I almost guarantee every Saturday night we went rabbit hunting. You know how much fun we had? Especially for the fact of the matter
I've been out with you rabbit hunting.
That was coyote hunting.
Oh, we didn't catch anything. We did see a rabbit. Y'all didn't see it.
But, you know, it was one of those things, like, it's so simple, and plus, even better, as at my parents' house back in the day, up until probably 2017, there was no self-service at my parents' house. And so, I can remember being buddies, and, like, if we wanted to, like, text a girl or call somebody, we'd have to go way out in the back pasture, and there's this one tree where we always guaranteed to have service.
You got 2 bars.
You got 3 bars at that tree, man. I'm telling you, that tree was... I don't know, it was like a beacon.
God's antenna out there.
But like sometimes like it was a little reckless, but we'd put like 2 people on the side by side or 1 person on the side by side, and there'd be like 15 of us, and we'd play hide and seek out in the pasture, like two or three different pasture like fields, and just like start at one position, just poof, just disperse, and so the person that's seeking is
in the side by side.
But
you got the big flashlight, spotlight.
You have to touch them. That's the catch.
Okay, that's
to catch them. So
I don't know about that.
Like one of my buddies.
We're not endorsing this.
We're not endorsing. Don't do this. I mean, this is very much.
Don't do this. Let me just go on in detail about how it's done.
This is a mild thing that we've done. But you know, I remember one of my buddies. You know, I remember jumping out of the side by side while it was moving to tackle him. I mean, it was fun. But, you know, it was some of those things, like, it's such a simple thing, like, to come up with. It's the imagination and creativity that I feel like a lot of society is losing, especially in our younger generation.
Yeah.
Because they have the video games. They have the stuff already built for them. I think we've talked about it a little before of, you know, I can remember growing up and had the metal Tonka trucks. And, man, there was no way you could convince me otherwise that I wasn't building a mountain with those things. Like, I had the dirt moving in the yard. There was a couple holes probably in the dirt, and I know I've lost some boots in our yard that we never found, actually.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about, like, speaking of, like, imagination, like, I was thinking about, like, qualities of manliness to bring up to this podcast, and I was like, okay, like, manliness, like, real men, and I was like... You know, like, the men who get remembered are, like, artists and stuff. And it's not, when we picture, like, traditional masculinity, in a sense, or manulinity, I don't know what I'm trying. But, like, we think of, like, big bravado, Arnold Schwarzenegger type, you know, me and you, when we look in the mirror, you know, who's to say? But then, like, the people who are remembered are the Michelangelos and the Da Vinci's and stuff. Yeah. And there's like an element of like art and imagination and creativity that go, like, it seems like go with hand in hand with being a, you know, successful man.
Yeah, it's you kind of, it made me pop into my head the quote from Sandlot. What is it?
Heroes get remembered, but legends
never die. Yeah.
And why are they just dropping that in like a 10-year-old movie, like a 10-year-old?
And now you thinking back on it, now I'm like, man, there is some weight behind that.
Yeah.
Like, that's a heavy hitter. But I remember watching it at 10 years
I
old, and I'm
see.
like, that's cool. It's got a pic, he's got a
It's got
vision of
dog.
Babe Ruth. That's
Yeah.
all I care about.
Vision of Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Listen here, kid. It's okay to smoke a pack a day. It'll get you into the
Hey,
majors,
if
just
he
like
was seeing
me.
a vision of Babe Ruth, he was smoking something stronger than cigarettes.
It was what was they put like dip in their mouths before they
Oh, when they went to the circus or the
Yeah, the
fair,
fair.
and they got on like the ride
yeah,
and
the
then
wheel
threw
or
up
the-
on everybody.
It was crazy. That's what led to the vision of Babe Ruth. Bless, man.
All right, so we need to get back on topic, I guess, a little bit. So we're
We're talking about
We are.
manliness.
So I guess we were on the gentleman topic, and we kind of went traditional norms, expectations, chivalry. I would say we've kind of touched on the manly man part, but you've got it written on there, beta, alpha, sigma. Now I know the beta and alpha part. The sigma part, I guess, is what's one step above alpha.
Not like a step above, and I'm not like a subscriber to these.
You can subscribe.
You guys can subscribe. If you're on YouTube or Spotify, you can subscribe right now.
Yeah.
I'm not like a subscriber specifically to these designations of alpha, beta, and sigma. I don't feel like they're completely useless. Like they can help us, identify weaknesses or identify personality types, and take it with a grain of salt. It's not scientific or whatever.
So what I'm picking up from what you're saying is there's instances where you need to be either one.
Sure.
Or
Yeah.
one of the other.
Yeah. I don't think you're like stuck. Like, oh man, I'm an alpha. Like,
I'm an
don't
alpha.
know.
I can't do this. Like,
Yeah, I don't know how like deep into internet
So I
lore
guess
you are. It's like
so I guess what we were kind of saying is alpha is
Alpha's
kind of the
just
new gentleman. Sigma's more the more burly, manly man, and then I don't know what would be beta.
well, no. So like alpha is like domineering in a sense. It's
Okay.
like you're in control of things, usually to like a toxic level almost.
Okay.
Like leader of the pack. And maybe there is like a healthy version of that. I don't know.
Mhm.
And then beta is like more submissive. Like you're not the manager in the company. You're the worker bee.
Okay.
And I feel like if we like looked at those at like rather than vertical hierarchical structures, but more like horizontal, this is how we all work together.
Yeah.
Maybe it can be like more helpful, but usually there's like a don't be a beta male, be an
Yeah.
alpha male.
Which you see a lot of that on TikTok these days, like,
Right.
don't be a beta, or vice versa.
Right.
Don't be alpha or sigma or
Well,
whatever.
like okay, so sigma is like they're kind of a loner. It's
Okay.
they're doing their own thing. There's like a ambiguity, mysteriousness behind them. I'm trying to
Okay.
think of like a sigma male figure, like someone who stands alone. Like
James Bond is kind of one of those guys.
yeah, I think they might say like he's like a sigma type person.
But the lone wolf aspect, I get.
yeah, like you're not. To go
Or
along
like a
with the
great white
metaphor.
shark, they don't travel in packs.
Right.
They're very much
Doing their own thing.
They dominate where they're at by themselves.
Yeah. And I don't feel like that's a healthy way to live by any stretch.
No, I mean
Maybe we need solitude in some moments and like to be decisive and not rely on other people to make decisions for us.
we've talked about that
yeah.
before because we've talked about how I'm very much an extrovert, you're very much an introvert. Which is I guess I would say another way that we work well together, and we're kind of started this podcast is I've I don't want to say I break you out of your shell, but sometimes you probably don't. You do things that you don't want to do, like come and hang out or whatever, and and sometimes I'll ask you to hang out, and you're just like, nope, I'm staying in bed. I'm like, hey, I respect it.
Playing Ark Raiders and building a Minecraft server.
But as I've gotten older too, it's one of those things I've learned that there's sometimes where I just need to debrief and veg out by myself, and sometimes it's just like I'll get on my Xbox and I will play like Madden or college football and do that for 2 hours and I'm good, but it's just, and it's not something like where I'm debriefing, like where I have to talk through it in my head or something. It's just very much the simple part of I shut everything off, don't think about anything, and I just sit there and lose track of time.
Yeah, I feel like I need a lot of that most days. Just
Yeah.
like to shut everything out.
Well, hey, I mean, yesterday you looked like you were about to pass out, or 2 days ago when we were working out, I thought you were going to pass out there for a second.
On our back day,
Yeah.
I mean, we were lifting pretty heavy. Was it during the biceps?
Well,
You were getting
used a
fuzzy
long
too.
Stretch.
No, you were getting pretty tired too.
I'm not tired. I did get fuzzy there
like
for a
fuzzy,
second.
yeah.
Right at the end on that last set, I was like, whoa.
Don't throw judgment this way. I will throw it right back and then shush you.
Don't. Stop.
Listen, I'm an alpha, okay? You gotta listen to me.
You're a bigma.
Okay. Who taught you, like, what a real man? Or I guess that's not really what the question says.
It's like, it says, what were you taught?
What were you taught was a real man?
You know, it's kind of a thing. You know, like I said, I think we've mentioned it before. Haven't really gone through a deep dive of it about my dad, and he's no longer here. But my dad was, and there are a lot of things that I love that my dad taught me about how to be a man, be a real man and stuff like that. But you know, there's some things that I learned just in watching him that I don't agree with. Like, my dad was very chivalrous. He was very much a hold the door open, traditional sense, man pays for everything.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, stay-at-home mom. You know, he handled everything, but in a sense there's some negativity to that. So when my dad passed away, he had like savings and different accounts that we never knew about. I mean, and granted, it was for
y'all,
for us, and for
Wow.
occasions like when he passed away and different stuff like that, and we're grateful. But I can remember one time, you know, I got my first ever bank account, and I was 16, 17, checking account, and you know, I with overdrawn, didn't know it was a possibility. You know, with a checking account, and so, you know, he got mad at me, and I was like, I didn't know, and he didn't really teach me how to manage that and figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just kind of like, you can't do that again, and that was it. And so those are some, like, my dad was very tough.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was a tough love. I know he loved us, but you know, I grew up in another sense of, like we talked about last time with money.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my chores, like, I didn't get an allowance, and some of my chores are a little bit different than other people's. You know, that there was a lot of that as to what I was taught. But you know, one thing I learned from my dad, you know, in the let's see, 24, 25 years that, you know, I knew my dad, you know, I only saw him even tear up once.
Mm.
You know, never saw any vulnerability, no, you know, no emotion. I don't want to say emotion, but as far as a negative emotion, unless he got mad.
Yeah.
I saw him mad. You know, he got mad a lot. He had a little short. He had a short temper. My dad, it was one of the funniest things ever. And you could ask my mom and my brother, and he would get mad. It was always in spurts. Like, something would happen, and it would just, like a flashbang, boom, and it'd be like 8 cuss words in a row. And they don't go together. They don't make sense.
No, I feel like that's a classic dad thing. Have you ever, like, seen the dad TikToks of, like,
yeah,
the you know, teenage girl or whatever, her ceiling's leaking, and he's like, son of a, you know, he's just totally calm coming into the room,
Yeah.
and then it's like 10 minutes later it flashes, his shirt's off, he's like, go get me a beer. It's
yeah.
like,
That's the way my dad was. It was very fast.
yeah.
But then after that it'd be calm, and that was with minor stuff. Now if something big would happen, like one time my mom ran over her dog in the driveway.
On
And-
accident.
Yeah, on accident, yes. We think. No. And my mom's going to be listening. She'll be like, it was an accident. No, one of our best dogs that we ever had, Rosie, she's a little
Dang.
mixture of something. But she goes out there, she's bawling her eyes out, crying. And he's like, what's wrong? And she's like, I ran over the Rosie. And he was like, oh, I thought something bad had happened.
Oh,
And
no.
we're like, oh my gosh, like, like you're too calm in some of these moments, like.
Yeah. That's where, like, the stoicism kind of...
Yeah, but some, you know, there were some instances like we expected him to just blow a gasket at us, mad.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, oh, I thought something bad would happen. But then something like, you accidentally knocked his hat off his head, and he'd get mad. And like I said, there's good and bad, I guess I would say, in every relationship in that sense. So I would say, one of the hard things that I didn't learn until after, I guess really after my dad died, was how to, it's okay to be vulnerable, to show emotion.
Yeah.
And in some parts I did, because, we'll get a little bit deeper. I remember whenever my dad passed away, my dad had cancer for several years, and we were there when he passed away, and I'd been really strong, didn't show any emotion towards it the whole time, and we were there, like, as Morbid says, we watched him die.
Yeah.
And we all took time to have our little moments in there after he had passed, and I remember, everybody left the room, and I was the first one in there. It's like as soon as the door shut, I couldn't help but scream and cry.
Yeah.
And just bury my face into the blanket next to him. And that was the first time through the whole time, even when I found out he had cancer, the whole way through it, that I just let my, everything, I couldn't stop it after that. I just uncontrollably screamed. And so after that, there were a couple instances after he passed away where, I'd have a little, I don't want to say a cry session, but it was very much like my emotions got the best of me. And just because the mind plays, it's a good and a bad thing on yourself. Right. But it was definitely one of those things that, I definitely had to work through. And then after a while, you realize, showing emotion's not bad. It's how you handle them, I would say. It's how you handle your emotions, how you handle different situations, how you handle relationships, friendships, interactions. And so...
or even the type of emotion that you choose to express or choose to process through. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, so I guess that's kind of what I was taught and what I've kind of learned. I would love to hear kind of your take on the whole situation. I'm sorry, I kind of went on a little rant there.
No, you're good. I mean, obviously, my dad is still alive, and he was.
Way to rub it in. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Where did I learn how to be a man? It was obviously through my dad. I mean, I did have mentor figures growing up. I was really involved in church and youth ministry stuff, and I would have constant weekly or bi-weekly sessions of mentoring. We're digging in, we're talking about life, learning how to process through things. I was heavily set on being a leader in a church somewhere, and that's what I had prepared my whole life to do. So there was that part of the leadership part of what it means to be a man that I probably learned through that avenue. But then you have my dad, who is not he's got the traditional manly senses of he likes shooting guns, he likes going hunting, he builds things, he works on cars
all the time.
Yeah, which was a big insecurity for me because I never really cared about any of those things. It's do I where's my value in his eyes? And I feel the manliest thing that I got from him was I always had my worth in his eyes. Even if I didn't have those things, he would invite my brothers out to go do those things, and he would still ask me to do it, even knowing I would say no.
Yeah.
But
it's still the asking involvement.
Right, and that was just huge. I feel going along with what you talked about with expressing emotions. I think he only cried once in my life, maybe twice. And it was when my cousin died. And it was it was like a very intense situation. Like we were all around a hospital bed kind of deal. And like I'd never seen anything like that before. There's but along with that, even my dad, the only really other emotion he got besides just like happy, he did get angry sometimes. He would just reinforce, like the only stereotype was when you get in a relationship, you never want to argue with your spouse. And I took that to heart. I was like, okay, this is big lesson for being a man, and having a successful family. And like he made it work. Like my whole life, I've never seen him argue with my mom. I never seen him like get frustrated with her or like, yeah. And like I would tell other people about that, and they were just like, what? And I'm like, yeah, it's like not normal. Like,
and I can I never, like, I saw my parents have disagreements, but if they ever had an argument, I knew they were having an argument was because they'd go to their bedroom and shut the door, and then they would argue. My mom said that's always when she'd get her point across because she'd whisper yell.
It's effective. You don't understand. Yeah, that didn't happen. Like,
really?
Never. No. Like everything was out in the open, and it was always like if there was ever a disagreement, that like my mom kind of took more of a submissive role in terms of like traditional spouse roles. She'd voice her opinion and be like, all right, like let's consider this, let's consider that.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. Let's see if it works. If not, let's do your thing. Like it was always like really calm-headed about the whole thing.
It's very much like the traditional, or not traditional, the old saying of "there's more than one way to skin a cat."
Yeah. What?
You never heard that?
I'm just kidding. Why would you skin a cat?
Because dogs.
What
are
a
better
weird
than cats.
saying, though. No. Let's not get on that tangent. Cats are better.
Well, you can't. No,
right.
You can't interject on a last second. Cats are better. No,
I mean,
not.
yeah, cats are better. Name one reason. No, you can't. See? Okay. All right.
We're
so
coming back to this one day.
Going back to the important point before you
yeah.
interrupted, like that's the kind of role I brought to my marriage. Like when I was married, and I don't know if this is where we're going here.
Yeah.
So I emulated that. I was like, that was success. I saw him go through 22 years of marriage without any problems whatsoever. Like, sure, they had times when they lost a lot of money and we were struggling, and they had times when they had a lot of money and we weren't struggling, like health issues and whatnot, but like it always came back together. So I was like, like this is the model. Like, this
is
will work.
The mold.
Yeah, this is the mold. But then it didn't work. Yeah. And I still wrestle with that, and it's like, is that the best way to perform in that role in a relationship and be avoidant of arguing? And maybe that's not even the way to frame it. Like, that's not the way he approached those things. I don't know anymore. It's like I tried to maintain that I'm not going to fight with you no matter what with my previous spouse. And it didn't work, and maybe I'm looking back on myself as like the hero in the story and like, I never did anything wrong kind of deal. But it's kind of, if I had one thing where I'm like reevaluating what the lessons he taught me, it's like, I don't know if that's realistic in judging by other people,
Well, and I'm not trying to interject too much into your story. Everybody's different. Every relationship is different. It's just what you find that works well for you. I will say, from what you've told me, y'all got married really young.
Yeah.
I want to say pretty quick too. After, I don't want to say y'all knew each other for a while, right?
We knew each other for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
But like when you're that age, it's like that's a lifetime.
That's true. So how? I guess from those two, I don't want to say situations, but from those two life experiences of one, seeing your dad, how him and your mom work, and then experiencing it yourself and it didn't work, where's that put you on how you view yourself to be a man? Because that kind of tails into one of our questions that kind of comes up. Because I mean, I can kind of throw this in there with you. You were very.
That was a good segue. I just gotta applaud that.
You're very. It's going to kind of mix into that. You're very I want to say you're very popular. You've got a large social media following, and so with the pop culture and how pop culture has kind of gone through, and the way they viewed men and alpha and beta, and kind of your situations. Can you kind of I guess relate to those things, or kind of explain how they play different roles?
Yeah.
If that makes sense, I kind of went in a couple different directions there.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know the best way to respond to this, but I'm like, manliness or like masculinity is, you know, it's something I want to redefine in the young people I like, you know, mold minds with as a teacher. And as like a content creator, I'm like, okay, I'm not, nor have I ever been like the most traditionally manly guy, but I want to help people be comfortable in their own bodies and stuff. And I feel like if I can help people, you know, that is my manliness, like coming to light, like doing the most for others and not requiring anything from them except for a like and a follow. You know?
But sometimes just a like's okay, you know?
Yeah. And I don't know. I just feel like there's so many toxic examples out there, you know, with like, I don't know if you knew Andrew Tate or whatever, that whole saga going on.
Now that's a toxic
guy.
Like,
yeah.
And even if you're an alpha guy, like, you can tell that there's some seriously toxic traits in there, and not even you can just separate the way he treats women and just go with everything else. He's like the guy that wanted to be David Goggins, but took things to an extreme level of the way, not how he does things, but how he treats things.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, doing and treating is two different things, and people think of like, you know, you do a workout, you do this and this, and then you treat women. You can do and treat everything.
Yeah. Oh well, like even how do you treat a workout? Like is it something that
are you going through the motions, or are you doing it with intent, and you know, and how you're doing it? It's so kind of back to it, you know, kind of relaying what I said earlier is, you know, how do you feel like a man? Like, you know, where are you at as far as with your, like I said earlier, with the way your dad and your mom interacted, and then with your previous marriage, and, you know, now that you've kind of got a mix of those two, and at least maybe you kind of see what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and what works for them. You know, where are you kind of at with that? As far as like being a man, like in how you treat situations and how you treat others and yourself, and
listen, I'm a man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you about knocked your phone off the
table
too.
That's embarrassing.
I'm a man.
You know, I feel like over the past year, especially, or like year and a half of trying to get myself physically into the body that I want to be in, has kind of brought me to a place of being like, no, I am getting closer to that ideal self that I want to be, I guess. I feel like you said at the beginning with whoever you were quoting of that chasing pursuit.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey. It's like, I'm never going to get there, but I feel like I'm a little bit more idealized than I was like 3 or 4 years ago when I was stuck in a marriage that was like, how do I do this? How do I say this?
You were miserable.
Doing there you go. I was miserable, but I couldn't express myself because to me, like, a man was like, I'm just gonna put up with it no matter what.
Yeah.
And now I'm like in spaces. I've been around like you and Emily and other friends where I can be like, no, I can express myself and be my full self.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of courage and guts to do that kind of stuff, and like I said, you know, me being a man, not to be too soft, but
Not soft.
Since we've started working out, and I would have never guessed it, this time last year that how big of a role and impact you would have on my life as far as I can confidently say that knowing you has made me better. We push each other. We want the best for each other. I make you and buy you a lot of food, but no,
it's not anything crazy. I'm just trying to make you bigger. It's just protein.
That's an outside argument that me and Mike have on different occasions about him wanting to pay me back for food that I buy him. I tell him no. But it's one of those things that value your relationships with your people and make sure that you're in these things for the right reason,
and you're focused on the treatment of them.
Yeah, and not only that, make sure they're treating you well as too. Be vulnerable, be available, be conscious, and don't settle for less than what
you deserve.
You deserve.
I
don't want to say than you want,
yeah,
but than what you deserve. Everybody deserves the world, and if somebody's willing to help strive to give you that, or you're willing to do it side by side or as partners, whatever, go for it. Be friends. First time I invited you over, to work out. It was kind of awkward for a little bit. But once we got flowing and we figured out each other's really our humor,
yeah,
it started flowing, and now it's just kind of.
It's just all natural, baby.
All natural. We wear clothes when we work out, I promise.
And we're not doing steroids.
Yet. But
as soon as we have the money.
I have talked to Mike into a bodybuilding show at the end of this year, just for the second podcast, just to bring that up. And
those are going to be some manly bodies walking across the stage.
Walking across. Oh, yeah, you're wearing the sleeves today, or short sleeves today. I got the long sleeves on.
Yeah, but it's a loose shirt, so.
Yeah, you can roll up the sleeves.
No, I'm not going to do that. Okay. That's going to be for the Only Man's.
Only Man's podcast.
Only Man's podcast. Man, did we talk about that being the name for the podcast one?
We did. Only Man's.
Only Man's or Only Friends was the Friends Only post that used to make that only you could see. Yeah. Well, what about you? Do you feel like a real man? And we'll,
do I feel like a real?
There.
So that's a double-sided sword. Do I feel like a real man? A lot of times, no. Do I know I am? Yes. And, believing and seeing are two different things. Because, just like every human on earth, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to do something goofy. In my head, sometimes I view myself, I'm still a child at heart. Sometimes I'm lighthearted. But, as I've gotten older, I've been able to look at myself, and it's kind of nice, every now and then. I don't want to say it makes me feel more like a man, but it does. When there are situations that happen and people look to me for answers. Granted, I may not have the answer sometimes. But
well, I'm going to pretend like I do.
But I'll try to. So, yes. And like I said, a lot of it started after my dad passed away, and it was just me, my mom, and my brother. It's in direct line, and so it's kind of like I don't want to say I had to take over a lot of things, but I had to step up into a mental role that I don't want to say I wasn't prepared for, but I was not in the right state yet too. And then a lot of it changed when I moved back to Jasper, honestly. It changed a lot of perspective. Moving back to Jasper, getting a new job, a big boy job, and doing all that, and then making serious adult friends. Not saying that I didn't before, but, I came back and held this job, and I had somewhat of a high stature as far as what I was doing. And a lot of people that I would call them Mr. or Mrs. whatever their last name is, within a couple months they're saying, just call me Bill, just call me Chris, just call me yada yada yada. And so, you know, it's kind of one of those things is when my peers and the elders that I looked up to for so long, when they start to visualize me as somewhat of an equal, it's kind of like I'm making those steps. Now, I will say a lot of it is that I go back to Matthew McConaughey quote, is that, yes, I do strive for what I'm going to be in 5-10 years, but I've also learned to stop where I'm at
and like reassess.
Turn around and look back at what I've done and where I've come from, because, like I said, I've done a lot of things, a lot of immature things, a lot of dumb things, but everything is a life lesson to learn from. And, you know, as long as you constantly learning, going back to that Kai Cenat video, you can teach an old dog new tricks, and you can teach yourself new tricks. You just have to be willing to accept it and willing to be vulnerable enough to say, I'm wrong, or I can be, I don't want to say fixed because you're not broken, but you can be better.
You can find improvement. You can find space and room to grow.
Yeah, exactly. There's always room for growth. Like I said earlier, whether it's inside or outside, I mean, it's there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go to Turkey and get knee replacement surgery to make me even taller. That's how I'm going to grow.
Are you trying to get as tall as me now?
Yes, taller, actually.
Taller?
Yeah.
Just like 1 inch, like 6 or 7?
6'6". Yeah.
6'6"?
Exactly.
just 1 inch taller than me?
1 inch taller than you. It'll be worth it. I know it. I was definitely listening to a podcast or something about some guy who did that. He was like 5'5", and he tried to get to 5'10". I'm like, is it really worth it? Do you think it's really
well,
worth
there's
it?
probably...
I mean, we speak from tremendous privileges, people over 6 foot.
But here's the thing, like, if we wanted to go up an extra, what is that? What did you say, 5'5" to 5'10"? 5'6" to 5'10"?
It was like 5'6" to 5'10".
That's 4 inches different. Like, however they do it, there's got to be...
Platform shoes.
Well, there's got to be health risks with it for... You know, doing that. Like, if you do it, let's say we do it now at 30. We live till we're 75. That's a long time of living like that, and your body's not ready. Like, your body's not built for that. Like, you know, from a baby, you're built to be a certain way, essentially.
Plus,
somewhat.
If you're 5'5", learn how to break dance. Okay, you will.
Or be a bodybuilder, you would crush it.
Yeah, dude, if you're a bodybuilder at 5'5".
If Travis, if you're listening to this, bulk up, dog.
Bulk up, dog. He's not 5'5", but still.
I mean, he's what, 5'8"?
I'm gonna give him 5'10". I'm generous.
Yeah.
I think 5'10".
Is he taller than Emily? No.
Tariq's
not.
Why are we?
We have gone way off track now.
We're gonna, before we dig ourselves too deep. Thanks for listening to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks.
Come back in a couple weeks to listen to another one.
Yeah, if Mike, remembers to post it. But yeah, come back again, listen to us, ramble on. Maybe we'll have something important to say. Maybe not. Maybe next time I'll get the jersey memo and I'll wear a jersey if Mike lets me know.
Maybe we'll be in the middle of a workout and we'll start it. Just be
maybe one day.
Do lapel mics up on
it. So go
it.
comment on our YouTube video and let us know if you want to see us one day throw on some lapel mics and go do a podcast during a workout. Just kind of talk about what's going on and what it's like to get a chest pump and feel like a man.
Yes, sir. That's how you really forget everything we said.
Yeah, forget everything we said. Workout, get a big chest.
Huge chest, huge back, huge biceps. That'll make you a man.